I want you all to think for a moment, just how many times a day do you use that word just? Whether that be, I just need to get some coffee, or I just need to finish this text. The word just here doesn't add any value to what you're saying. It only seeks to marginalize who you are and how you feel. When I walked onto college campus as a freshman, I thought that I was just a student athlete. I thought my job was to go to class, make my coach happy, and try to get along with my teammates. And I found a community of others who felt the same way and didn't try to challenge the status quo. But as we were in the van one night coming home from a game, I began to think about the opportunities that I wanted to pursue and then didn't think I was qualified for. I shared these with a mentor who became my first advocate in believing that I was more than just a student. She was the first person who pushed me to look beyond this initial label that I had created for myself and to really take hold of the opportunities that were presented in front of me. As I transferred universities, I desperately wanted to make that happen. I began to realize that I didn't have to let being a student be what limited my opportunities. In fact, it was being a student that allowed me the opportunities to change communities. It was being a student that gave me that authority. But that didn't mean that I knew what I was doing. I had realized that when I taught, I wasn't just a facilitator, but an inspiration. And when I went to a 6th grade basketball game, I wasn't just a family friend, but as a role model for the next generation of doers. But like I said, that didn't mean that I was convinced. About a year ago, my faculty champion had me come into his office because he wanted to start a program on campus. He wanted to start this thing called Startup Grind, which I didn't know anything about, so I drug my feet getting my interviews done and getting our first event set up because I didn't understand. However, Gary, who's sitting with us today, doesn't know that I didn't think that I was qualified to do it when he kept sending me those emails. However, a few months ago, as I was waiting to walk on stage for my very first event, I heard our city director announce my name, Jessica Aldrich, as the chapter director of Startup Grind U at Wichita State University. In that moment, I became something so much more than anything I could have thought that I was. I wasn't just an engineer, I wasn't just a student, but I had created this whole new identity for myself. As I continued to go down this path, I began to realize that that's exactly what we all struggle with. But thankfully, I have a rock star team behind me who pushes me to believe that I am so much more than just a student. They empower me by being my biggest cheerleaders, my best friends, and they don't put up with my crap when I decide to marginalize any of my opportunities. Today, each of you is in this room full of other people who are going to change the world, and they're going to help you do the same thing. In fact, that's what you signed up for when you walked through these doors. You decided to challenge the status quo and begin to believe that you are more than just students. You are dreamers, you are designers, you are engineers and innovators, you are artists, you are athletes, you are friends, you are leaders, you are students, and you can and will change the world. If I had followed in the footsteps of my former teammates, I wouldn't be standing here today. In fact, I would still be waiting for this magical moment when somebody told me that I had the authority to do something. However, because I am standing here today, I took advantage of the opportunity to do something more, to be something more than just this little title that I thought I was. Lean into this community. Lean into these people who are not going to let you settle for believing that you are just whatever it is that you think that you can get by with. I challenge you all, as you go home, look around, begin to ask yourself, how might we empower our peers to believe that they are more than just students?